One down. Who's next?
Hey, today I would like to share my recent build, Gemling Thor, a 2 buttons melee lightning build. As the name indicates, we only use 2 melee skill, Leap Slam for mapping and the Primal Strikes for boss fighting. So I just reached the level 90 on this character, and I think this build is a decent and fun playstyle in the endgame. The POE link is on the video description down below, feel free to check it out. Let's get started. Okay, so for the mapping setup, we are going to use Leap Slam as mentioned, and to use Leap Slam we need a hammer, and the hammer we are using is the unique hammer Mjolnir, which is used by Thor, which is then why this build is called a Thor build. So this hammer, it gives us a good raw physical damage, while it also gives us a special skill which is called Thunder God Wrath. So this Thunder God Wrath is basically going to trigger the socketed skills when melee hit. So every time when you melee hit the enemy, you will get some energy, and when the energy is full, it is going to trigger those skills socketed in. We can only socket in lighting spells here, and this is a special constraint for this one. So initially I was thinking, well, this is probably a chance to socket in some damage lightning spells to help about the map clearing, but actually it does not really work that way. The reason is we, as a hammer user, is only scaling attack damage, not spell damage. So if we want to use those spells to cause damage, it's not going to happen. But I find it's quite good to use this skill as a support skill. So what I do is I try to trigger Orb of Storms with Font of Blood and Font of Mana so that I get higher life regen and mana regen when I jump into the group of enemies. Also, I got a Voltaic Mark. So this mark is actually having 2 different usages. One is for mapping and one is for boss fighting. For mapping, we are mainly rely on its Nova. So its Nova is actually attack damage. So we are scaling attack damage, so it will getting to be scaled. So this is actually useful. While on boss fighting, we will talk about it later, but basically the Voltaic Mark will increase the shock magnitude that we're going to apply to the boss, so this is the reason why it is socketed in. But as you could see, the hammer itself is not lightning enough, right? So there's nothing that actually shock an enemy and kill them afterwards and trigger a Herald of Thunder, then kill more enemies. So this is the thing that a lightning build should have, while this is far away from that. What do we do with that? So we got Wake of Destruction secured leggings. So this one is the key of this build. Basically what it does is to create shock the ground while moving, This shocked ground lasts for 8 seconds, and the enemies stand on top of that is guaranteed to getting shocked. So we're not going to worry about how to shock enemy, the chance of that, and so on and so forth. So as long as they touch this ground, they are going to getting shocked. This is guaranteed. A funny thing is, it's not just creating the shocked ground while we are moving. It also creates the ground while we are on the fly. So with the leap slam, which basically means we are going to create the shocked ground while we are flying, and when we landing, some enemies in the past already getting shocked, and then we kill them, and then it could be regarded as killed the shocked enemy. Then it triggers Thunder of God, Thunder of Herod, Herod of Thunder, and then it kills more enemy repeatedly, so on and so forth. So this becomes the beginning of everything by shocking the enemy while we are flying. So another thing to be mentioned for the leap slam is I'm using stomping ground. So this is used since I was on a very low level, and it's still very useful in the end game. Basically what it does is when you moving during using the skill, it will deal some damage based on the strength as physical damage. And as we can see, I have about 250 strength, and it will deal that much of damage. As like this is a raw damage. The hammer is about 250 to 400. It's less than the weapon, but still quite decent. But what's most important about that is you can see when I leap slam, I will take a first step and then fly. So the first step will trigger that stomping ground. So if there's enemy around me and trying to attack me, or I'm surrounded, that kind of stuff, they are going to be attacked first while I take my first step, and they are going to be like either stunned or knocked back without interrupting me. So I can keep flying and then landing afterward. So this is a quite important mechanism that I think should be mentioned. After that, I think we are going to just talk about how we scale damage. The scale damage is also very straightforward. So this deepest tower crown will treat enemy in my presence as low life. So the presence, if I hover over this presence, it will show the radius of my presence. This presence is actually enlarged by my passives, that kind of stuff. If I swap to another weapon set, you will see this is a much smaller one by default. I think this is probably the default one after wearing this this helmet. But yeah, for mapping, I do need a higher radius or larger radius of presence, so I can kill more enemies at once. This kind of thing. So this count everything on low life will going to be used with this group of nodes that gives us deal much more, not this one, but deal much more damages, like 60%, 30%, every small node, big node, and these three nodes. There are a few hundred of percent of increase while wearing this wearing this helmet, as well as enabling those nodes. So this is a huge boost of damage. Another source of damage boosting is the skill level. As you can see, I actually have 25, level 25 of Leap Slam here, while itself is just level 20, and there are plus 5 levels. Where does them come from? One is from the plus 3 of my Emulate, and another one is from the Glove. Glove is plus 2 and Emulate is plus 3. So plus 5 in total at the moment. It does boost the damage significantly, I would say. The rest is basically just attack damage, melee damage, as we could see this attack damage, physical damage, attack melee damage, this kind of thing. But there is a special thing around this build is we are leveraging the block chance as the damage source. As you can see, 1% increased damage per 1% chance to block. There's one node here, another node here. They are basically the same, 1% increased damage per 1% chance to block. So as long as we have some block chance, currently I have 68, so we get 68% of increase by each of this node. So they are like 130% in total by enable these two. And also, as a Gemling Legionnaire, we have some special advantages. As you can see, we can use the highest level of Herald of Thunder, like I currently just 19, level 19, like, and there are some increases by the plus 3 is coming from this hammer, so this hammer has plus 3 level to lightning skills, this lightning skills, so it's getting plus 3. And I also can use level 90 of Herald of Ash. So these heralds are always level 90 above and above. And the Orb of Storm, level 90, Voltaic Mark, level 90, and they are all plus 3, so they're level 22 each. So this is a special benefits. Another benefits is these nodes. For every support gem we soak it into the skill, the red ones is going to increase damage, and the green ones are going to increase the skill speed. So what we have for the Leap Slam, I got 5 red support gems, which means it getting 100% increase after socketing all of them. So this is basically scale damage or damage scaling for the Leap Slam. As for the survive, as you can see, I'm basically a life-based character. I have about 3,000 life and 800 energy shield, and I'm relying on the armor and block. So I have about 5k armor. Like as mentioned, 68% of block. Yeah, a very special thing about this build is about the recovery of life, because we are heavily relying on life. So first of all, we need to have some regen. That's 61.9, and I got a holy ground. So when I Leap Slam, it gives me above more than 200. But what's more important is the recover maximum life, like 2% of maximum life when kill enemy. So I got one enabled on Herald of Ash and another one enabled on Time of Need. So actually I will recover 4% of maximum life when I kill an enemy. So that actually gives a lot of recovery when standing on the battlefield. You just need to keep killing, and the life is going to be recovered. Also, I got some life leech from Ring, which is an additional source of recovery. Also, this unique life flask. This is, I think it does helps a lot in regarding to the quality of life. So first it's instant recovery, and second, the excess life recovery is going to not to be wasted. They are added as a buff, which is called guard. So the damage is taken from the guard first before they actually reach to me. So this lasts for 10 seconds, which is really useful for a life-based character. And about mana, as you can see, I have quite high level of these skills. The mana cost is actually quite high, so I choose to be a strength and intelligence character. So as you can see, I got 160 to meet the requirement of this hammer. So it does give me about like 1000 mana. It's somewhat still not very enough, so I actually need to leech some mana, as well as enable this clarity in 2 places, like one time of need, and another one is attrition is another weapon set I will talk about later. But yeah, so I need to get some regen for mana and the leech mana, so this will help a lot. Without those, the mana is not going to be enough for sure. So time to talk about boss fighting. So boss fighting, we are just using primal strikes. So this would assume that the boss is already shocked. So once boss is already shocked by this, we could see it actually get a lot of damage on the last, like the spirits released on the end. So this is just the panel value. It's much higher with like they are on low life because of the helmet. One thing need to be mentioned here is this does work, but the shock, the last hit will consume the shock, and it will take a little bit time to reapply that shock to the boss. So once we finished one set of attack, we probably need to move or dodge a little bit, and then for the next round. The mechanism is very simple. Kind of like we just attack and dodge, then attack, dodge. So that's basically it. To scale the damage, it basically still, like as mentioned, we are going low life specific attack with this helmet, and all basically the common attack damage, melee damage, that kind of stuff, and the block chance provides damage, they are all common in between weapon set 1 and weapon set 2. What the difference is basically in weapon set 1, that hammer, we need to get like this physical damage and the area of effect. So we and presence, the area effect of presence. So we can attack as many enemies as we could, while for the single target boss fighting, we don't need those area of effect stuff. So we just opt in for unique, like this giant slayer, and nodes around them to increase attack damage and attack speed against the unique enemy, and lightning and elemental attack damage, this group of node. And there are a few lightning damage nodes here. So that's basically it for the passives. And for the skill gems, we actually have another two things. One is attrition, which basically gives us like 1% more hit damage against the boss every 2 seconds. And I have a curse soaked in as the passives. So as long as they are within the range, so this conductivity curse is going to be applied directly, so we don't need to manually apply. So with that, it's really truly 2 buttons, 1 button to map and 1 button for boss. One thing I would like to mention is one of my friends who was good at warrior build remind me that I probably want to use Aftershock with Leap Slam. I think that's something I would like to try and experiment after this. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching.